2 million years ago, the planet was a completely different place. There, the saber-toothed Smilodon was a fearsome predator. In its time, it stood against the giant terror bird, which was 2 meters tall. Both were armed and ready for battle. In this series, we will talk about great battles and fights for survival. Welcome to Wonder World. Today, we have a very exciting episode. If this is your first time watching, I hope you click the like button and subscribe. Let's continue the episode. The scene you see is not just a gathering of marine predators, but a gathering of ancient lineages. Sharks are living fossils that have not changed for hundreds of millions of years. Dolphins are the air-breathing creatures, and some say their ancestors lived on land. And whales are larger than any other animal living on the planet. Birds, the last remaining dinosaurs, are the most famous lineage in the world. All these predators hunt the same prey, but each has completely different origins. There are more than 10 million species of plants and animals existing today, yet they only constitute 1% of the total number of animals that ever existed. If we go back in time, we will find that 99% of the animals have gone extinct, and we will discover beautiful stories about the beginning of animal life on the planet in an extraordinary way. Planet Earth enjoys perfectly suitable conditions. Liquid water and solar energy, all ideal elements for the beginning of life. Scientists say that the precise process of the beginning of animal existence on Earth has been lost through history, but they believe that a single small cell in the depths of the seas called Luca is the last universal common ancestor of all forms of animals. It is described as the common ancestor of all animals on Earth. From 450 million years ago, we recognized the oldest animal that achieved dominance, which is the invertebrate lineage. Simply put, they are animals without a backbone. This lineage dominated the seas for millions of years. Throughout history, dominance has always been for the strongest. Therefore, lineages would rise and dominate, and then another lineage would emerge to take their place. Plants were among the first lineages to exist on Earth, and they prepared the conditions and the place that allowed, at the right time, the invertebrate animals to evolve and dominate. However, invertebrates could not dominate for long. A new lineage will take control, a lineage originating from water, known as amphibians. Their bodies are composed of 4 limbs and a backbone. Their bodies can adapt to both land and water, but their influence is limited due to their dependence on life near water. However, another lineage emerged that did not rely on life near water, which is the reptiles. This lineage has managed to adapt to dry areas. From this lineage came the most famous lineage ever, the dinosaurs, which ruled for over 150 million years and remained the strongest lineage on Earth. But due to bad luck, the dinosaurs went extinct, and after they rose, the last great lineage was mammals. The rise and fall of lineages over 4 billion years was not a coincidence, but rather the wisdom of the Creator from the beginning of life to the infinite diversity we live in today. Always, the creatures that know how to adapt to life are the ones that survive. For example, we can see that every butterfly egg looks exactly the same, but in fact, each one has a different genetic composition that makes it completely unique. Some will have hereditary traits that help them survive, and these traits will be passed from generation to generation, allowing them to adapt to the environment. Caterpillars are not the only ones who can adapt to their surroundings. The truth is that everything in life fights for survival, including plants. Caterpillars used to eat all the plants, and no one could stop them. But then, the plants adapted to survive, and their leaves became toxic. This poison kills anything that eats it. After that, a new species of caterpillar appeared that could eat the toxic leaves as it had immunity and was not harmed. So what does the plant do? Something very strange happens in nature. Butterflies lay their eggs on the leaves of plants that do not have other butterfly eggs to ensure that when the eggs hatch, the caterpillars eat the leaf safely. But the plant retaliates by displaying yellow growths on its leaves, which look exactly like butterfly eggs. The butterfly is deceived and afraid to lay its eggs on the plant. And most importantly, these fake eggs produce a beautiful nectar that attracts ants, which come to clean the leaves of any caterpillars they find, as ants love to eat caterpillars. The first rule in life is that those who can adapt to the circumstances are the ones who survive. The second rule is that competition strengthens your adaptation skills. 2 million years ago, the strongest competition occurred between individuals of the same species. A male terror bird owned the lake's shore as his territory, but he wasn't alone. A smaller male saw this place as special, and neither wanted to back down. Both wanted to take over the place, each assessing the other's strength and displaying his own, until one got scared and withdrew. If neither withdrew, a fight was inevitable. But they were not alone. The intelligence of mammals like the Smilodon was one of the reasons for the terror bird's extinction. Not all species that can fight can continuously adapt. The battlefield itself is hard to change, leading us to a new rule. The land won't always remain stable, sometimes aiding life, and sometimes making it difficult. Throughout history, volcanoes have been one of the greatest change factors. Volcanic eruptions that lasted for thousands of years repeatedly swept vast areas of the planet, releasing gases into the atmosphere and changing the climate. In the worst cases, they could cause mass extinctions. The world rarely remains stable for long. Sometimes it's a world of fire, and sometimes a world of ice. These changes have caused many challenges, from toxic seas to barren lands, and sometimes periods of endless rain. All this could have led to the extinction of life on the planet. Throughout history, major changes like these have happened 4 times, and each time, 3/4 of the species were lost in a mass extinction. But there was one period when the Earth was stable for 100 million years, and this period allowed only one lineage to be the strongest. This period was the age of dinosaurs. The calm and stability during this period helped dinosaurs multiply and spread in large numbers. The dominant lineage at this time was called Megasaurus. These creatures were gentle, feeding only on plants, but they were strong due to their large numbers and their big gathering. This big gathering provided them with safety. This female is walking cautiously and comfortably towards her nest. The name of this species means the good mother. Like other females, she builds the nest in large colonies. When she reaches the nest, she must be careful of the other females, as each one is protective of her nest. She feeds her young in a way similar to birds, keeping them protected in the nest for up to a month until they grow and join the herd. During this time, dinosaurs had various shapes and sizes. The Triceratops were very different from the Megasaurus, weighing up to 5 tons and having 3 horns. In the breeding season, its health had to be good, so it strived to find the best plants to feed on, and it was very important not to stray from the herd. This was because the forest was full of other giants, as well as the Tyrannosaurus rex, the strongest predator, with its young, natural-born hunters faster than their mother. It had to escape from them quickly and return to the herd, as this was its only hope for survival. Strength always lies in numbers. The conditions on Earth changed, and in one day, everything changed. An asteroid the size of Mount Everest, moving 20 times faster than a bullet, collided with Earth, creating a crater 20 kilometers deep and up to 130 kilometers wide. From here began a series of devastating events for the planet. The collision was not the only destruction. The huge crater released ash and dust that covered the globe, blocking sunlight and leading to the deaths of all dinosaurs and most life forms on the planet. This was the fifth mass extinction that occurred on the planet. But some species survived, and these species are the basis of all species existing today, with birds being the only remaining dinosaurs, numbering about 10,000 species and living everywhere on Earth. Birds are not the only survivors. Another large lineage managed to survive, and despite the catastrophe of mass extinction, there is still a large number of life forms with amazing diversity, all perfectly adapted to the challenges of life. The struggle to protect and raise young, find food, and reproduce. Some species may have gone extinct, but others continued. However, the basics of life remain the same on a rapidly changing planet. The creature that can adapt is the one that will survive, and this will determine who rises and who falls. Everything alive today can trace its lineage back millions of years. 99% of all species that ever existed have gone extinct. The living creatures today represent only 1% of the total population. This is what has survived. This episode is the first in a series in which we will talk about the most important milestones in the history of life, from the great powers of mammals to the ancestors of birds that flew in the air and the moment when animals managed to come out of the water. In the next episode, we will talk about the origin of life in water and the first battles for survival on our extraordinary planet.